Hello my favourite people in the whole world, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another reading vlog for you and I'm excited about this one. This video is a little bit of a challenge, okay? We have a bit of a book off and that book off is between the highest rated book on my TBR, according to Goodreads, versus the lowest rated book on my TBR, according to Goodreads. And I'm interested to see whether the Goodreads average rating can be trusted. Now, before we get into the books I'm going to be reading for this video, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the oodie for sending me this oodie. This honestly is the coziest, warmest thing that I own, and let me tell you, that has been needed recently because suddenly it has got so cold and I personally cannot function if I am cold. So I have been living in this. This is literally the perfect reading outfit, okay? It is so soft, it is so warm and fluffy. I'm actually obsessed with it, okay? And I have a discount for you that will get you 15% off if you would like to get your own oodie. The discount code is maisiemayreads15, but I will leave that in the description box as well as a link to the oodie website. Thank you so much again to the oodie, and now let's get back into the books that we're going to be reading for this video. Okay, so the lowest rated book on Goodreads on my TBR, and this is not going to come as a surprise to you if you watched my October TBR because this was actually one of the prompts for my October TBR. The Stars Are Dying by Chloe Penaranda. So this has a rating of 3.50 on Goodreads. It has 9,641 ratings. And I do have to say, recently I have not heard the best things about this book. So its rating on Goodreads, plus the bad reviews that I've heard, has put me off reading this, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm very skeptical, but also interested to see how this one is gonna go. And then at the opposite end of the scale, with a Goodreads rating of 4.63 and 1,528,222 ratings. That is crazy. That is so many ratings and such a high average rating. Can anybody guess what this book is? I'll give you a minute to guess. The Nightingale by Kristin. Now I do apologise, my cover is a bit weird. This is not the cover that most people have. I think that this is just the UK cover. However, after I bought this from Waterstones, I did see in WH Smith's they had more of the normal cover. So I don't know which is actually the UK cover. Have I just got really lucky? Am I literally the only person who is stuck with this cover? Maybe. Anyway, I'm sure that this book did not get its high ratings because of its cover. And if it did, it will be found out. So these are the two books that I'm going to be reading in this video. And we'll be seeing which one gets a higher rating from me. Obviously, I do have to say they are very different types of books. This is a romantasy and this is a historical fiction. This is a very sad book and I'm not 100% sure, but I have a feeling that this is literally, yeah, like a spicy romantasy. So very different vibes, but I'm excited to try out two books from different ends of the scale in terms of how people have reviewed them. Okay, I feel like I have literally nattered on for ages now. So with that said, let's get into the video. Okay, I'm going to try and be pretty quick because I do not have much battery left on this camera. I am now about 80 pages in to our first book, which is The Stars Are Dying. I did decide to start with the lowest rated book just in case people are right and this book is not that great, because then at least it can only get better. So in terms of what this book is about, I'm not going to lie, I don't fully know yet. It still feels very early on, like not much has really happened. So in this we have Estrella and she is our main character and she is basically kept somewhat of a prisoner by this lord. I think he is a lord, I'm not completely sure what he is, but in this manor, and she's not allowed out. It's giving kind of plated prisoners. They have a romantic relationship, but he is very much in control of her life and she is not allowed to leave, she's not allowed to do much. She's quite sickly. I'm not sure exactly what is wrong with her at the moment, but she just seems to get ill quite a lot. And yeah, he keeps her safe but also stops her from doing things. And this world is quite dangerous because we have vampires, and vampires are bad, okay? Vampires are dangerous. One night when Estrella has snuck out, she meets this man called Night, and he's quite mysterious. We're not completely sure whether he is human or whether he is a vampire because he has pointed ears, which I think is what the vampires have in this world, and he basically starts helping her. That is kind of the gist of where we are at the moment. There's also this side plot with her friend that she has made, who is off to go and take part in this competition, and Estrella is supposed to be going with her, but she needs to sneak out from her captor's house in order to do that, so I don't know if she's going to manage to do that or not. I don't know. That's where we are. This is the start of the book. I'm not really sure where the plot of this is going or what's happening. Honestly, the blurb doesn't really say much either, so yeah, we're just gonna see. We're gonna vibe it out from here. The book is actually also available on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm gonna probably be reading it quite a lot on Kindle Unlimited because I'm actually going to my parents this evening and staying there for the rest of the weekend. So yeah, sorry about all that noise, by the way. That's Ollie next door in the study making a lot of noise because he's a very loud person. So yeah, that's the update for now. I'm gonna go before Ollie starts getting undressed on camera. Okay, I am up to page 276, chapter 32. So I'm just over halfway through this book now, and I have very conflicting feelings about it, okay? At the start, I found the writing like so confusing and just hard to follow. Like, I just feel like maybe it's not the best written book, which writing isn't a big thing for me. Like, if I'm enjoying the plot on the story, like, I don't need amazing writing. It just kind of felt a bit in this one like the author was trying too hard to have like beautiful flowery writing that meant that it wasn't really clear what was going on, and I found myself having to like reread sections because I was just a bit confused. But I feel like the writing has improved a little bit now. Like, I feel like it's making more sense now, which is good. And I do think that the plot is really interesting. Like, I'm enjoying the plot. I'm enjoying the potential romance. We've not really had any romance yet, but there's definitely some potential there that I am enjoying. This book has a game or trial type element to it, which I'm enjoying. I'm always a fan of that in books. And what I'm liking about this one is it's different to a lot of the others that have been very Hunger Games-esque. This one's quite different, and I'm liking that. The world building is a bit confusing to me. I think that's the bit that I'm struggling with, struggling to follow. I don't fully understand the world, and that's a bit of an issue. But I'm clinging on for now, and I'm enjoying the plot, as I said, so I am enjoying this book. I do, however, need to get my arse in gear and get this book finished. Ideally, I'd like to get this book finished today so I can then move on to the Nightingale, because I need this video to be up in time. So yeah, that's where we are. I'm going to try and fly through the second half of this as quickly as possible. I'm hoping it should be a bit quicker than the first half, because as I said, at first I was finding it really hard to follow, but I'm not as much now. So yeah, I'm interested to see how the rest of this book goes and what I think of it. At the moment, I think it being the lowest rated on my Goodreads. Obviously I haven't read any of the other books on my TBR, so I can't really compare, but compared to other books I've read this year, it's definitely not my least favourite. It's definitely not the worst. I can see, because of the issues with the writing and things not being quite clear, that it's not like a super highly rated book. But as I said, like, I think the plot is good and I'm enjoying the plot, and I'm excited to see what happens. Oh, I've just thought something that really annoys me. This happens a lot in fantasy books where they like change the spelling of words, and I don't really understand in most cases why they do that, but this one maybe has the most annoying one ever, where magic is spelt with a K on the end. Why? Why are we doing that? It's so annoying. I hate reading magic written like that. I have a prediction about Night, and if it's true, I think that's gonna cause some shit. I would just like to document that my prediction was, of course, correct. Please ignore if you can see our Christmas bedding. Our bedding didn't dry in time, so we put Christmas bedding on because it was the only other bedding we had that fit this bed. Okay, so I have now finished The Stars Are Dying. Honestly, I have such mixed feelings about this book because I kind of enjoyed my time reading it. Like, I had fun reading it. I liked it. But at the same time, I still think the writing was just bad in the sense that the storytelling was just way off. Like, it was so confusing and hard to follow. Also, the last, like, 100 pages of this book have given me whiplash. Like, I have got whiplash from the back and forth of people's intentions and the romance, like, in a way that just doesn't make sense and is just really frustrating. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna, on Goodreads, give it 3 stars, but I think my actual rating is more like 2.5 stars because I just think that the execution of this book was not great. But I thought the plot was an interesting idea. I did kind of like the romance, and it was fun. But yeah, the execution just wasn't there. So I think 2.5 stars, unfortunately. That means that we can now start The Nightingale. Now, not only is this obviously the highest rated book on my Goodreads TBR, but also literally everybody that I have seen read this has loved it. I'm kind of scared because this is not my typical genre. It's a historical fiction, so we will see. I am really trusting everybody's opinions here on how good this book is. I've never read a Kristin Hannah book before. I have watched the show Firefly Lane. Well, I watched the first season and then I didn't watch the second season. I think there's just been 2 seasons. And I quite liked the first season. I know that's a popular one of her books as well, but I probably wouldn't read it because I've already watched the show. But yeah, so here we go, The Nightingale. All I know is it's sad. It's set in France 1940 during the Second World War. It follows 2 sisters. That's all I know. I did not realise she had written so many books. There's already so many amazing quotes in this book and I'm literally in the first chapter. I always thought it was what I wanted, to be loved and admired. Now I think perhaps I'd like to be known. So obviously I started this book last night. I am now up to page about 190. I think I've already mostly said what this book's about before I started it. But obviously this book is set in World War II in France. We have 2 perspectives. We have the perspectives of 2 different sisters, Vienne and Isabel, and the 2 sisters are like 10 years apart in age, I think. So Vienne is the older sister and Isabel is the younger sister. Vienne is married, she works as a teacher, she has a daughter. She is a big rule follower, she's quite sensible and she just wants to take care of her family. On the other hand, we have Isabel, and Isabel is only 18 at the start of this book. She's a lot more reckless and outspoken. It's basically following their different journeys through the war, and I don't really want to say anything else because I don't want to give any spoilers. I really enjoy the writing. I would say there was some very like shocking things that happened in the first, I don't know, 50 to 100 pages that was very sad to read about. Obviously lots of people cry when reading this book, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared that I'm not gonna cry and you're gonna think I'm heartless, because I just find it so hard to cry at books. Like, I never cry at books. Films and TV shows, I sob like a baby. I think whenever I see other people cry, that makes me cry. But books, I don't know, I just don't cry that much. Like, one of the only books I can think of that really made me cry is Kingdom of Ash, the last book in the Throne of Glass series, and it was only one particular scene that made me cry. So yeah, just putting a warning out there now. I probably won't cry. Don't think I'm heartless. I'm just not someone who really cries at books. Obviously, it is a very sad topic. It's a awful time to be following, and it's actually been interesting because as someone who is British, like, we learn about the world wars a lot at school, like through history classes. I feel like every year we did one of the world wars, and definitely more on World War II than World War One. However, it's very much from a British kind of standpoint, so I didn't actually know a lot of what it was like in France at the time, and yeah, I don't know, it's definitely very enlightening, and I feel like I am being educated through this book. I mean, I don't know how accurate this book is, but so far things that have happened, I feel like it's quite close to history. So yeah, I feel like it's good to get that perspective. Yeah, that's that's about all I've got to say right now. I do kind of want to get this book finished today or tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna try and get my little reading boots on and read as much as possible. About 80 pages left of this book, so I'm gonna sit and finish it now. I'm gonna need a minute before I can give you my thoughts. Good news, I have now pulled myself together after finishing this book. The end of this book, I can't believe I really thought I was not gonna cry at this, but then the last 20 pages like destroyed me. It's hard for me to know what to rate this book because, as I said, not many books make me cry and this one did, but at the same time I don't feel like it gave me the 5-star feeling, but it did make me feel things. And also I think it's such an important story. It's not something I would normally read and I really enjoyed my time reading it. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. As much as I want to give this book 5 stars because I think it was amazing, it didn't give me the 5-star feeling, and I only give books 5 stars if they give me that feeling, so I have to stand by my kind of rating system and stick with this one being 4.5 stars. But I really enjoyed it, definitely recommend it. I think it's a book that everybody should read, and even if this is not your normal genre, it's definitely not my normal genre, but I'm so glad that I finally read it, and yeah, the hype was worth it. So that brings us to the end of this video. We had our lowest book on Goodreads and our highest rated book on Goodreads, and I have to say, for these ones, Goodreads was right. This one, 2.5 stars from me. This one, 4.5 stars from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched till the end of this video, please don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I would love to see you in my next video. Bye!